guys, I hope you are having a wonderful day. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I am starting a 3-part series where I'm going to share with you about pregnancy and not only what I ate during pregnancy, but also kind of my experience as I went through the 3 trimesters of pregnancy. And so that's going to be the focus of these videos in this series. I just want to share with you what I experienced and how I ate. And I'm also going to share with you, being fully honest, how I failed in many areas and how I maybe wish it would have went or how I would have planned for it to go, but it did not go according to plan. So anyway, I just recently filmed a coffee chat video where I sat here just like this, chatting with you with a delicious cup of coffee, and it was fun. So I figured I'll do this video series in a similar fashion, but don't worry, I do have some B-roll to put over, especially when I'm talking about what I ate. I don't have as much as you'd probably hope for because I just didn't do a whole lot of filming during pregnancy. I did a little bit here and there. I shared this in the last video, but I fully intended on continuing to make videos and keeping up with my YouTube channel. But again, nothing went according to plan or how I would have planned it out to go. So I did not put up a lot of videos, or hardly any videos, I don't think. And so I didn't film a lot, but I did get some shots of food along the way because, like I said, I was intending to share this more real time, but here we are. That's okay. So I plan to go back and recap just to share with you. So as we go through this video series, I'm sure you guessed it, it's a 3-part series. So in each video, we're going to focus on one of the trimesters, starting with the first trimester. So before we get into the first trimester specific details, I just want to share a little bit about when we found out we were pregnant and maybe some encouragement for any of you on the journey. So my husband and I had actually been trying to get pregnant for quite a while. I can't tell you the exact time frame because it was like we were trying and then it wasn't really happening, so we kind of stopped trying for a little bit and then we started trying again, and this was a process over a couple years at least that we were wanting to grow our family. And so real quick encouragement for any of you going through this. I know what it's like to, you're trying and, it gets around that time of month. And if you're a couple days late, you start to think, okay, could this be it? If you are like me, there were times where I was a little bit all over. My time of month is usually pretty regular. However, there was a lot of variation that started to happen, and I think part of that was because we were also on this health journey where I think it's been around 2 years ago around this time we started carnivore, but diet changes can mess with that too. So I was a little bit up and down with diet, so I think that might have really played a part in it. But if you are trying, you know that, okay, if you get to be like 1 month I was 10 days late, 10 days, you are thinking this has to be it, right? And so there were time and time again where it just wasn't it for us. So if that's you, I see you, I hear you, I want to be here for you. So comment below if you just need a word of encouragement or you're going through that process. Hang in there, and don't give up, and just pray through the journey. I also want to encourage you that if you have the desire to be a mommy or dad, moms, any of you out there, you have the desire for kids, that is a God-given desire. Not everybody will desire that, but if you have it, that is a God-given desire. His will is for us to multiply. And so just know that that's his will, his good will, and his good plan for you. And so pray through the journey, and just know that he's not the one withholding that or stopping it. And so if there's things that you need to look into in the natural, do it, but try to do that journey in faith and just trusting in God's good plan for your life, and you will be surprised at the beauty of it. So yeah, just hopefully that encourages you, because like I said, we were trying for quite a while. And so you can imagine the absolute excitement when we finally found out that we were pregnant. So I'm filming this video at the very end of January, but it won't post for a few more weeks. I'm trying to film ahead and get on a schedule with my YouTube videos. So by the time this posts, it'll be sometime in February. And it was 1 year ago in February that we found out. It was February 27th to be exact is when I got the positive pregnancy test. And there's a little bit more of a testimony there. If you would like to hear that, let me know. I'd love to do another chatting, video with you and share a little more detail. I'm not going to go into much more detail on that now, but super, super excited, just praising God. So excited that it finally happened. So to get more now into my experience, we found out we're pregnant, and this happened right around the time before we found out we're pregnant, we had decided we were doing the lion diet starting March 1st. If you were around my channel about a year ago, you probably remember this. Maybe you've seen some of those videos, but starting March 1st, we were going to do the lion diet for the whole month of March. I also did a separate or additional challenge for myself. I wanted to put out a video every day during the lion diet. So we were getting super excited for that, found out we were pregnant. I was thrilled because I'm like, this is perfect. You probably could guess this by my channel's title, but I do think carnivore way of eating, low carb meat, it's gonna be the healthiest for us and for our babies when we're pregnant. So I was thrilled. I'm like, this is awesome. I'm gonna get my pregnancy off to a great start, super healthy. And so I was just excited. And you can actually tell in those videos where I was documenting the Lion Diet Challenge, my excitement level at the beginning, really high. It quickly faded if you keep watching the videos. I didn't watch through them closely, so I think it's probably obvious on the videos, but it's obvious to me because I know what I was going through. So about a week or so in to the Lion Diet, that's when all the first trimester fun started to hit me. And the very first thing that hit me, you guys, was food aversions. And once you know, the thing that I had the aversion to was meat. So it was the night that we were having elk burgers, and I made the elk burgers and I started eating them, and I'm like, these just aren't that great. My initial thought was maybe I don't like elk very much. I had had elk in my past, like as a child with my family, not very often though, but I had had it before. And so I thought I liked it. So then when I wasn't really enjoying it, it was kind of hard to eat. I was like, well, maybe I just don't like elk. Well, the next day, so it was from dinner to the next day, it had completely changed to where I could tell what was happening, because I went to cook dinner and it was like the sight of meat. It was no longer just elk, it was any meat. The sight, the smell, the texture, it repulsed me. I felt so nauseous. And so we sat down to try to eat that next dinner, that next meal, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. So that was one of the biggest things, I don't know, I want to say side effects, but that's the wrong word, I think, for pregnancy. But the biggest things that came against me in the first trimester was aversions to meat. And so I kept going though. I pushed, because like I said, I truly believe that that's going to be the healthiest thing for me and baby. So I pushed as hard as I could. We were also doing this challenge. I didn't want to give up. And so I was pushing, and my husband started to cook the meals rather than me. Thank you, hubby. Shout out to you. He started cooking all the meat because he knew I couldn't take it. And then I'd sit down to eat and I'd choke down as much as I could. Along the way, there's going to be a little overlap here, but along the way there was some beef short ribs that he made. And I remember that meal because I didn't have much trouble with that. And I don't know why, it was just a one-off, so I ate as much as I could in that meal. And it was so good in that moment, but the food aversions continued. So it was just kind of a weird moment. But anyway, so all through the main part of the first trimester, struggling with meat. The other thing that started to kick in is morning sickness. I did experience that. They call it morning sickness. Funny enough, I had mine mostly in the afternoon. I was usually pretty good in the morning, but the afternoon, evening hit and I was really nauseous. My appetite was pretty poor during that time. When you feel nauseous, you don't really feel like eating. And then fatigue. The fatigue hit, and when it hit me hard. I would get up right before I had to start working. Thankfully, I have a work from home job, so I didn't have to leave the house and then try to come back and stuff. So I would get up, get ready, start working. And then I'd go on my lunch break, I would nap, and then I'd get up and go back to work. And then after I was done working, I would pretty much go to bed. I would try to eat, but then be sleeping. I'd be napping on the couch. I mean, it was like, I slept as much as I could. So first trimester, and I mentioned this in a few of my recent videos, but first trimester was by far the most difficult for me. A lot of the challenges and many people face these challenges, but not everybody does. So you don't have to, that doesn't have to be what you go through, but just so happens that is how my first trimester was. So those were the things I was walking through during first trimester, all those bodily changes. I mean, it is the most intense of the trimesters for your developing baby. I mean, there's a lot of development and growth that happens throughout all of them, but that first one, it is the most. I mean, you think about it, your baby goes from being just a little tiny little seed, tiny little thing, and then develops into a baby all within the first trimester. The main things anyway, everything kind of gets off to its start. And so a lot is happening, a lot of hormonal changes, a lot is going on. So that was my experience. Let's dive in now to what I ate. So of course you can imagine my goal with my pregnancy, because this is just kind of my goal in my life right now, but it was to stay mostly carnivore, to have a carnivore base, maybe go into ketovore, you know, that's kind of where I thrive, the ketovore more. But my goal and plan was to stay that way throughout pregnancy. But it was challenging. It was. And so to move forward from, of course, the initial challenge was the fact that we were trying to do the lion diet, and that's only meat. It's only ruminant meat. So it's not even a wide variety of meat. It's ruminant meat only. And so that wasn't working. So that's towards the end of the challenge where I just gave up, because I was tired of pushing myself to eat the meat when it was making me gag and it wasn't good. So I'm like, I got to give in and I got to start eating other foods so I could eat more too. Cause you need to eat. You need that, of course. You're making a baby, you need to eat. So I started, after the lion diet, I started eating, I think I mostly stayed keto for quite a while, but I started to eat eggs. I ate lots of eggs. I'm so thankful I didn't have food aversions to eggs. And then I added in cottage cheese, and then I started to eat some things that I don't typically eat anymore, but I started to eat like celery, peanut butter, and raisins, so like ants on a log, and then pickles and oranges, those sorts of things. So I will mention this, I had food aversions, very strong food aversions, but I didn't have very strong food cravings. I would say I had mild cravings, and towards the end of the first trimester, probably my most intense craving over all of pregnancy was right towards the end of first trimester into the second. I was craving citrus foods like oranges, like a nice juicy orange. That's what I wanted. So I did eat a lot of oranges and cuties and things like that during that kind of period of time. And then I did start to crave a little bit more than normal spicy food. That was kind of the tail end of my first trimester into my second. But other than those two things, I don't think that I really had like strong cravings. So definitely added in some fruits and stuff there towards the end of the first trimester. I also, and I think we might have found this before I was pregnant, but we did do pizza using a keto shell that we found, or pizza crust that we found at our local natural grocers. So we would have pizza a few times. Sausage patties. I ate a lot of sausage patties. That happened to be the one and only meat I could stomach. No, I take that back. I could stomach chicken to an extent. So between sausage patties and chicken, I did like chicken tenders. Those were the two meats that I could really stomach and handle well during the first trimester. So I didn't incorporate a whole lot of meat back in until later in the second trimester, which I'll share in the next video. But I did do chicken tenders. I almost forgot about those. My husband would make those for me in the Instant Pot, just put a batch in, make them in the Instant Pot, and then I could eat a couple every so often, or at, one of my meals during the day. And then sausage, because I was really trying as much as I could get any of those more quality foods in my diet. I was still trying. First trimester I did a good job staying at least keto. So you'll have to stay tuned for my next couple videos to see if I was able to stay on the low carb track during second and third trimesters, but the first one I was pretty good at least staying keto. Definitely did not stay carnivore, having those meat aversions. And yeah, I think I would have maybe been more tempted to go off track had I been hungry during the first trimester, but it was more of being at the place of making myself eat because I knew I needed to eat. I didn't really start to, the nausea didn't start to go away until towards the end of the first trimester for me. So there you have it, you guys. That's kind of a recap of my first trimester. I want to hear from all of you ladies out there, like women who either you're pregnant now or you're wanting to be pregnant or you've been pregnant in the past. Just let me know your thoughts, what you've experienced. Might be fun to chat a little bit in the comments. Please be nice though. There's it's a lot. It's such a blessing and such a good thing, but it is a lot to be pregnant, to grow a baby, and to go through these things. Some women have it a lot easier than others. Some have it kind of in the middle like me, and some have it even way worse than I did. So let's be nice to each other, but let's chat about it in the comments and share our experiences together. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. Just wanted to share that. Mostly wanting to share what I ate and what I kind of wish I would have ate. So there'll be more on that. As you can tell, I'm maybe hinting at the fact that second and third trimesters probably didn't go as well eating wise, but hey, you go through these life experiences, you do the best you can, hopefully learn from them, and yeah. So there you have it, you guys. I will talk to you all in the next video where we will dive into a little bit of how second trimester went. All right, love you. Bye.